Durley Campers. I wanted to make this video because this is the week that I would have been with you at Durley Camp. I know our plans changed and they changed again, and some of you are just missing out on being at Durley this summer. I am too. Durley is such a great place where we can meet with God, where we can make new friends, where we can worship Him together and just dig deep together in His Word, and it's so good, and I know we're missing that. But I wanted to make this video just to reach out to you, to let you know that I'm thinking about you, I'm praying for you, and just to share a quick word and challenge with you, because I'm standing here with a Bartlett pear tree, with Bart, the pear tree. And Bart is special because 4 years ago, I was at Durley Camp and I brought Bart, when he was just a little thing, a little sapling, with me in my car to Durley Camp. It was crazy. But here he is 4 years later, and we planted him and he is just thriving. And I brought him to Durley because we were talking about the fruit that our lives bear, being fruitful, and I told you that he was a Bartlett pear tree. And I said at the time, he was little, didn't have any pears, but you just had to trust me that he was a Bartlett pear tree. And I had to trust the label from Home Depot that I bought him from, that he was a pear tree. But come closer, come see. We have fruit, we have pears growing. So we know for sure that Bart is a Bartlett pear tree. And the reason that I wanted to show this to you is, and what we talked about when we were together 4 years ago, because we also bear fruit in our lives. And the fruit that we bear gives evidence to whose we are and who we love and who we follow. It makes me think of this verse from Matthew chapter 7. It's talking about false prophets, people that say they believe in God or say they're speaking truth, but they're not actually speaking the truth. This verse says, "Watch out for false prophets. They come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ferocious wolves. By their fruit you will recognize them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Likewise, every good tree bears good fruit, but bad trees bear bad fruit." So just like Jesus is saying to watch out for people that say one thing, but their lives don't really match up, right? They're bearing bad fruit. So we know they're bad trees, not good trees. And the same thing is true for our lives. Are you bearing good fruit of the Holy Spirit, like love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness and gentleness and faithfulness and self-control? That fruit, those things that we do, those choices we make, give evidence to who's in our heart, who we're following. And on the other hand, if our lives are bearing bad fruit, if what we say doesn't match up with how we're acting, if we're making bad choices, not wise choices, if we're disobeying God, that's bad fruit in our life, and it's revealing our hearts that aren't following God, that are maybe following our selfish wants, following the enemy, following the ways of this world that don't line up with God. So just like Bart here is bearing pears, so we know he's a pear tree, my question for you tonight is, what kind of fruit is your life bearing, and what is that showing about your heart, who you are, whose you are? So that's my challenge for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we hope we can see you maybe next summer at Durley Camp.